I have a feeling I will make it to your house someday because I go to New York at least 3 or 4 times a year.
Totally.
And I have a feeling one of those times I'll be like, hey, Sal, can I crash on your couch and read comics?
Right? And yeah. And actually, the back issues couch is also a fold out, so it works out perfectly.
Let's see. Then it just works.
Right?
It just so works.
It'd be so fun. We have a little.
Hey, man.
It'll be a slumber party.
You been reading anything good lately?
This week, actually, some spectacular books came out.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, I loved.
Oh, is it good? I haven't.
Yeah, it's
I
really
haven't.
good.
I haven't had a chance to make it to the comic book shop, so I hope it's good.
Yeah, Jerry Conway is writing it, and he was like, "I've written Spider-Man a lot," and he's like, "I'm not gonna." He wasn't like retreading old ground in any kind of like obvious way. It was kind of just in a right. This is what it's like to write Spider-Man, right? And he just, he didn't miss a beat. And I love I love Stegman's art. I was really sad.
I do too. I love him in Superior Spider-Man.
Yes, that was, for me, that was the superior part of Superior Spider-Man, was like, Stegman's art was so great. But it was really a treat to see the classic Spidey suit drawn by Stegman, like in action.
That's great, man.
And so
that's right. He's never done that before.
No, it's really awesome. So that looked great.
I'm loving Clone Conspiracy.
Yeah, that's a book.
You don't like it? I like it, dude.
This new issue was better than the last one.
Okay. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking because I've so far been so far in on Dan Slott's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I think I get why this event is not so much for other people. It's because most of his events are, I'm going to show you what the hook is up front, but I have a surprise at the end.
Yes.
This one, he hasn't revealed the hook yet. Mm-hmm. Think about it. We don't know what the hell that, like, besides clones and who the weird dude. I think the hook's going to be who's behind the mask.
Yeah, he's really burying the lead on that one. And
I think that's what the hook is. And I kind of think, man, I really think he's going to slap us across the face with a surprise. Like, I think he's going to knock us across the face with, like, a Superior Spider-Man surprise.
Yeah. No, my theory is it's probably going to be Ben Reilly.
Yeah, or I actually think it's either Ben Reilly or it's actually a Peter Parker clone.
Yeah, where it's just, I was just an extra clone, and I just decided to become, like, a villain or whatever.
I'd rather it be Ben Reilly, because I want Ben Reilly to come back into continuity.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun. And, it was,
I'll tell you what, man, Superman is killing it.
So great. Every Superman book is amazing.
Since the curtain is down, I'm going to let everybody in the chat room and you. I got to read the next issue.
Oh no!
It is amazing.
That's awesome, man.
And Superman #7 was my favorite comic book of the year.
Yes,
so far,
easily.
I think it's 11. I think because 10 just came out.
Yeah, 11 would be what is that called? Crap, boot camp.
Yeah. I'm gonna read 11. I'm gonna read 11 again tonight. And it might become my favorite issue of the year.
I gotta tell you, 10, I was like, this is... I didn't think it could beat...
11 tops it.
Oh, God, yes!
11 tops it, man. It was so... I was blown away. I was like, whoa, oh my God.
Yes.
Like, it made me immediately want to go to the Patrick Gleason's website and just keep hitting refresh until I can buy that art.
Yeah. That was... And you know what else? It's also a terrific prelude... Because we haven't seen any, like, the promise of Super Sons is that union.
Oh, this is kind of like just wait.
Yeah. Oh,
okay. You just wait.
Can't wait, man.
I'll even tip you this.
Okay.
That because like I said, the curtain's still down, so here we go.
Exactly.
Nobody's listening.
Nah.
The person that names them Super Sons, us, one of the best moments of comics this year.
Nice.
So.
Okay, well, I'm sold. I think that comes out, like, next week or the week after?
I think it's next week. Yeah.
That's, man. And, by the way, the release schedule for DC Rebirth, killing it. Just amazing.
They haven't missed a beat.
No.
Yeah. Now, there's some books that I think kind of hurt every once in a while. Yeah. Like Green Arrow changing its artists a lot.
That was too bad, but the artist they changed, because I think it started with Schmidt, and now I don't remember who's doing it now, but they're doing an amazing job, too.
But yeah, and I would say that the story to me is strong enough, and they've matched the artist close enough that I can still get through it, and I'm not bumped.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, not much. No quality dip.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
which you would find. All right, I guess we've talked comics more like long enough. We can talk about cartoons now.
Sure. Let's talk about cartoons.
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to the Elseworlds Exchange. I am Sal, here from ComicPOP, and with me today I am joined by Jason Inman of DC All Access, and of course his personal channel, Jawiin. And Jason, before we start the show, you have a very important message that I think you'd like to get out there, and I thought, why not share it right now at the top of the show?
Sweet, man. Well, thanks. If you don't know, every single year I run a comic drive for soldiers. That's where I try to collect comic books to send overseas to troops and for their families at home, the families that are missing the troops overseas. I primarily do that because I was a veteran. I was in the Army for 6 years. And one time in my care package, I actually got a comic book. It was actually Ultimate X-Men.
Oh.
And it was the start of the Ultimate X-Men Weapon X storyline. So,
Okay.
yeah, like it's the cover where Wolverine's leaning against the bike.
Yes.
And then you read that issue, and it's all about Nightcrawler trying to escape from Weapon X, and you're like, what is this? This is so awesome. But I digress. So I'm running this Jawiin comic drive. You can find the information. I believe Sal put a link in the description.
I did.
There's also a handy dandy web address, www.jawincomicdriveforsoldiers.com. Have it right here. I don't know how well you can see that, but there you go. It's probably reversed. I don't know. So we're trying to reach a goal of sending 20,000 comic books by November 30th. You can go to that video, get all the information. We're already 1/4 to our goal because DC Comics kicked off the drive with 5,000 comic donation. And I'm partnered with Operation Gratitude. So if you're a little like, oh, this seems kind of skeevy, I'm partnered with Operation Gratitude, and it's all good.
Yeah, it's all in the up and up.
Yeah, everybody out there, if you have any comic books lying around, if they're in good condition, good reading condition, package them up, send them out, and follow those steps in the video, and let's do a good thing for people, because I think good things in the world right now are very needed.
Yes, we are in short supply. We could really use some. I know that ComicPOP are going to be donating some stuff as well, so we're looking forward to getting that, and we're going to shoot a little thing, and it'll go out there.
Yes, and again, I'm talking to some other people, some other comic book companies out there have agreed to donate as well, but I won't reveal who they are until they make their official announcement.
Exactly. Good call.
So.
Well, it's a great cause. Definitely get the word out. And if you in the chat or listening at home really believe in it, definitely check out the link. We'll put it in the description here on YouTube and also on audio through our iTunes and SoundCloud and Stitcher and everything like that. And tell your friends and share it around. Because
worst case scenario, if you're confused about where to find the information, you can always find it on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jawiin, or on my Twitter @Jawiin, Jawiin. I have the video is pinned to the top of my profile. So it's always there. It'll be there until November 30th.
Nice. Well, there you go. So moving gears a little bit, we are going to be today talking about, based on
also good things.
Oh yeah, good things. The bombshell announcement that Young Justice is getting a 3rd season, which the cynic in me never expected, and apparently,
here we
are.
I on several panels and on several episodes of Collider, I said that this was never going to happen.
Yep.
And I have never been more happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah,
so I totally eat my words on this. And cool, I'm glad it's coming back.
Exactly. So it made us think about cartoon shows that are based in superhero and comic book properties. And more to the point, we were thinking, what are some shows that don't exist that we wish did and that we'd like to see? And so Jason and myself came up with each of us a list of 5. And so I thought what we'd do is we kind of like go back and forth a little bit about what's on our list.
Yeah, you want to count it down, like start at our number 5 and then go to our number 1?
Exactly. Yeah, that'd
be
great.
Because mine's a build.
Oh, cool. Oh, nice. Mine. I would watch any of them, but I'll try to prioritize myself.
Yeah. Well, I guess I put for number 1 the one that I want to see the most. But,
right.
True. So, do you want to kick it off, or shall I?
Yeah, I don't mind. I'll kick it off because I'm sure mine's. I know.
Set the tone.
You suggested the concept, so I know yours are going to be way more solid than mine.
We'll see.
My first one up is DC Bombshells.
Ooh.
That's
a good choice.
Yeah, I would like to see a DC Bombshells animated series. I think setting that universe against the animation backdrop, what reminded me of it was the Justice League New Frontier animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, DC knows how to set their universe in different periods. Of course, Justice League Unlimited did it a number of times. But I love the I don't want to say camp because it's not. It takes itself very seriously. But they know how to have fun and infuse joy and superheroics within the universe. And that's something that I think really translates well to the format. I think the bright colors, the terrific designs, the amazing, expansive universe of DC Bombshells, I think it would be a really fun show. And I think it could go on pretty much any network. You could just throw it out there and boom, it's a show.
That is a good choice, man. I would have never thought of DC Bombshells in a million years, dude.
Thank you.
That's a great choice. It's fantastic.
Yeah, just it's unabashed fun.
Yeah.
So what's your 5?
All right, my number 5. So I was trying to think about some different things out there. I was trying to think about maybe some getting away from some kid-related animated shows because I'm a huge fan. In a previous episode of this very podcast, we talked about how much we loved the Spawn animated series on HBO.
Yes.
And so I thought to myself, what would be a great successor to that? Like, what would be a good show, an animated show that you could do on Adult Swim, Showtime, HBO, make it adult, and have it have as much impact as Spawn? So my choice would be Swamp Thing.
Oh, yes.
Because, imagine a dark, very 2D. I'd love to see this 2D animation, kind of in the similar vein of Spawn, Swamp Thing that retells the stories of Alan Moore or does flavors of Alan Moore, even picks up the Charles Soule run, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
Or the Grant Morrison, Mark Miller run. I want to say Millar, but I know it's Miller. That run. I just think that Swamp Thing could fit this neat little pocket that we haven't seen in animation, except for Spawn. We haven't really seen the horror cartoon.
No, that's true. I mean, we were getting that Justice League Dark movie, which I think is like dipping their toe in the water of that idea. But
it'll still be adventure-y, though.
Yeah, I mean, Batman's in it, so it's gonna be it's still gonna have high-flying superheroics, just with kind of like unexpected characters. But a grounded, Alan Moore 2D dark, Showtime-y HBO series would be awesome, especially because you'd be like, okay, let's make it like a mini series. Like, we're not going to try and like prolong it. If it's successful, of course they could keep it going, but like you only have a finite amount of episodes, so you know that like each one means something and has weight to it.
And if done right, I think it could be the perfect vehicle to be like, hey, cartoons are just as valid as The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like people would have the fever for Swamp Thing that they have for like Westworld.
It's true. Oh man, Westworld.
Yeah, I like Westworld a lot.
I just got caught up on episodes 5 and 6. 6, I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, the maze.
Oh my god.
Anyways, all right. So, what is your number 4, man?
My number 4 is actually in the opposite direction. This one's more like kid friendly. It's something that you could put on Disney XD or the ABC Family, whatever that became. Or it could go on Nickelodeon or whatever. It doesn't really matter, just so long as it's out there and it's easily accessible. And this is kind of like a trifecta. It's like any one of these 3 would be a show for kids or for like young adults. And it's I want to see either an Avengers Academy series.
Oh, good.
A Power Pack series or a Runaways series.
Well, I'll give you Power Pack if it's drawn in the style of Chris Iliopoulos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I was thinking Power Pack.
Be that style.
Yeah. I was thinking just kind of like a not the Teen Titans Go, but more like Dexter's Lab kind of thing.
Okay, like a Johnny Bravo kind of style.
Exactly.
Every one of those shows you mentioned would totally fit into that.
Yeah, I think it's what's great is you don't talk down to the kids with the show. It's just kind of like it's featuring kids, it's featuring kid and young adult related issues and problems, and putting them into like a context for young adult animation, and it does that. It toes that line of story and fun / action. Where they're like, okay, we are making like we're gonna make our money. By selling the toys and all the other like chicanery that is associated with children's animation.
Chicanery.
Thank you. So yeah, and I was like, oh, which one would it be? And I'm like, you know what? If it was, you'd pick one of those. And they would all have the same animation style. Any one of them would be my number 4. So
that could work. I could totally see that, man.
Yeah.
Nice. My number 4, I'm going back to a little bit more kid-friendly as well.
Okay.
Mine could also be a Disney XD show, sure. It could be anywhere. Definitely a kids cartoon.
Mm.
I wanted to go for something. I do have superheroes on my list,
Right.
but my superheroes are all kind of off the beaten path because if you want to see a normal like superhero story, go watch Batman, go watch Superman, go
They
watch
exist.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're out there, and I don't think we need to repeat that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see like variations on that theme, and that's why when they remake the Spider-Man cartoon into
Yes.
whatever they make it, which they're going to do,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, that'd be a great show.
He's already been in Web Warriors.
Yeah.
So he's already been set up to the kids.
That's true.
Literally spin that character out into his own world, and let's see Spider-Man in a post-apocalyptic world. Well, not post-apocalyptic, but like Blade Runner or
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. That's what I want to see. I want to see like you could animate it 3D if you want. Let's do that.
Right.
But that's what I want to see. Like I want to see the adventures of Spider-Man 2099 because I think you could tell the Spider-Man tales, but give it a different enough version that it wouldn't just be like repeating the same path over and over and over, which a lot of the Spider-Man cartoons do.
No, it would be the Batman Beyond for Marvel.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect way to put it. Yeah, it's the Batman Beyond for Marvel, and Marvel really needs a Batman Beyond, and
they
totally
really do. Yeah.
And as just some guy with a mustache said in the chat room, yes, shocking, yes. That's a 29.9 joke.
That's right. Shock, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, shock the hell, yes.
Yes. Thank you, Peter David.
But yeah, man, I think it would be so much fun. And Peter David, with his comic run of that series, he set up such an amazing world.
Yeah.
And the comic series only got like 45 issues, the original series I'm talking about. Only got 5 issues to explore it.
Marvel has never quite figured out how to recapture what worked about 2099 because
you're exactly right.
Because I remember when they brought it back for that awful series, like it was called Time Shock or Time Storm. Yeah,
it's terrible.
And they were like, "Oh no, we're gonna change everything that you liked about it, but still give you the costume." And I'm like, "That's not anything."
Yeah. And fun fact: there was actually going to be a Spider-Man 2099 show in the 90s, early 2000s.
Really?
But they scrapped it at the last second because they didn't think the people would watch it, and that's what became Spider-Man Unlimited.
Oh.
That terrible series where he goes to the alien planet?
Yes, Counter Earth. That was horrible.
It was terrible. That was supposed to be Spider-Man 2099, and then the studio got nervous about it.
That explains why his suit is a huge ripoff of the 2099 outfit.
Yes, exactly. They just kind of like tweaked the colors and changed a little bit of the character models.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't think, they were worried that a Spider-Man series not starring Peter Parker would work.
Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah,
that's
crazy,
rough.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't we wish we had the Spider-Man 2099? We deserve it.
And back then, it would have at least had a couple of seasons.
Yeah, it would have lasted like a couple seasons easy.
I mean, even that awful show had its own, had like I think 2 seasons.
It did have 2 seasons.
Where it just limped on.
Yeah.
Man, that was rough. Did you know, I had heard a rumor that Sony was so desperate to figure out how to keep their Spider-Man franchise going, they were toying with the idea of doing a Spider-Man 2099 movie after The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, they were just like, I don't know, 2099? We could do that.
That just sounds like these out of touch
yeah, they were just like,
executives. They have no idea what they're talking about. No. They're like, I don't know, Spider-Man's a dog.
Yeah. You know that they just had a wall that does all the characters and properties from Spider-Man, and they went, what can I do with that? I don't know. Silver Sable could be a movie, I guess. Do we own that? Is that something we have?
Guys, I know. What? The Sinister Six just starred in the movie.
Just a whole movie about the bad guys, and maybe
there's no good guys in it.
No,
that's a
no good
idea.
Guys. Maybe he could do like a cameo, and that way we could sell action figures of Spider-Man and put the Sinister Six logo on the box. But otherwise, it's just about the bad guys.
What happens when they all get captured? Shut up, you!
Yeah. Who says they have to be captured?
Yeah. Closure?
Yeah. No closure.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up, you story logic man.
Yeah.
Shut up. I don't know. All right. What's your number 4, man?
Okay. This one it's a little obvious. This was just like, it's a show that I feel like we never really got.
Okay.
And it's a show that was always promised, and this is flying in the face of what we've been doing so far, but I'd like a Batman Superman cartoon. Like
Interesting.
like the Jeff Loeb series, like the movies that we got, the 2 movies that we got with Public Enemies and the other one, Apocalypse, where it's just a team up show that's always starring Batman and Superman.
Okay.
And would
you? Okay. Well, here's the real question.
Yeah.
Would you call it Superman Batman, or would you call it Batman Superman?
I feel like both I and DC agree it would probably be called Batman Superman.
Get out of here.
I think that it would work either way, but I think that DC would be like, well, we got to put the Bat first.
I get it. I would just love it to be called Superman Batman because I love that comic book series so much.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
There are so many good runs in that series too, beyond the Jeff Loeb run.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you just take that concept of, the dueling monologues, the dueling approaches to crime fighting and superheroics and their personalities, and just pit them against each other. I
think you're going to get your wish in the next 10 years.
I feel like you might be right. I mean, like,
yeah,
we'll have
I think
to see.
You will, or at least a Trinity cartoon.
I think a Trinity cartoon is more likely. I mean, especially with the dissolving of the Superman Batman book in favor of a Trinity series.
Mm-hmm.
And a Trinity series makes sense. It's just that, like, with a Superman Batman show, you have fewer characters to juggle, and it allows you to then make anyone fit into the third character. It could be primarily Wonder Woman, but like you could always throw in anybody else. You could Batman Brave and the Bold it and be like, Booster Gold's in this one, because who cares? It has Superman and Batman in the title, so we can put anybody in it we want. Like, it could be a Green Lantern, or it could be all the Green Lanterns at any point during the series. But it's like, it's all about Batman and Superman and their approach to the same problem. Like,
you're gonna like Justice League Action quite a bit then.
I saw what the plan is for that show, and I think it's one of those short ones, right? It's like Teen Titans Go, where it's like, here's 15 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever.
Sort of. It's for like little vignettes of like 10 minutes.
Does it? It reminds me of that. That reminds me of the short they released where Batman and Lois Lane. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So good.
That was a great cartoon. I was like, this is fun. I hope they make more of these, and then no more.
Well, what you were saying, man, Justice League Action is kind of like, it's kind of what you kind of described. It's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman teaming up with these other people.
Oh, well, there you go. Then that show already exists.
Yeah, and you're gonna see it in less than a month. So
nice, man. I've completely fallen off the radar as far as like when anything comes out anymore. So
they pushed it back. It was supposed to come out this month, I believe, and then they knocked it to, I think, the end of November. I think it's going to come out right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm down.
I think it looks a lot of fun, but I think you're going to get your wish for your a specific Batman, Superman, or a Trinity cartoon.
Yeah.
I guaranteed it within a decade. I bet. I have no doubt of that.
Nice. I mean, I do know it's kind of being greedy because like most of the first season Justice League show is that.
Yeah, sure.
Which, by the way, I threw that on the other day, and Tiffany and I watched the For the Man Who Was Everything episode, which was, of course, originally written by Alan Moore and then adapted by J.M. DeMatteis. I was rereading.
Wasn't that the Warren Ellis episode?
Was it Warren Ellis? No. It was DeMatteis.
Was it James? You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check that.
Go do it. But yeah, it was cool how he kept a lot of Moore's lines and dialogue, and I was like, this is cool.
Oh, you are. I'm sorry, my bad. You are James DeMatteis. Yeah.
I know that.
I knew that Warren Ellis had written an episode for that series, and I just couldn't remember which one it was.
I'd like to know what episode it is because I guarantee it was awesome.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Actually, I was having watched that episode, and a member of the population sent me a copy of all of the hardcover of all the Alan Moore DC like best works, and so I'm gonna do For the Man Who Has Everything on back issues in the next couple of weeks. And
oh, great!
That is gonna be fun.
So he wrote the episode, season 3, episode 10. Dark Heart.
Oh, okay.
That's the one with the weird black thing, and it's kind of the first time you see the entire team come together.
Yes.
And Just League Unlimited, and yeah, they fight Cadmus and stuff like that. That's his episode.
Oh, that's a dark one. That's like, well,
yep.
in its own name, but that's like sense. Well, he conveys the futility of the battle where they're like, I don't know what we can do. Like, we're all gonna die.
Yeah, pretty much. They're all like, we lost. We lost.
Warren Ellis, man. So what's your number 3? 2? 3?
Oh, maybe that was your number 3.
Yeah, that was No, my
Yes,
number 3
it was your number 3. Okay, so this is my number 3. Okay. My number 3, again, going back to the adult world, I'm going to pitch Adult Swim the perfect cartoon for them right now, and I want to see him greenlit it by Comic-Con.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's say you're a young boy who works at a fast food restaurant, and then one time when you're taking out the garbage, you throw the garbage into the can, and then it flies into the stratosphere.
Okay.
Let's experience that together in the Invincible cartoon series.
Yes.
That's what I think needs to happen. I think Son of Superman with adult tones.
Yeah.
I cannot believe Robert Kirkman has not greenlit the Invincible series.
I feel like it's only a matter of time.
I don't know. It seems so proven. It seems so adaptable. Like there's just certain scenes you wouldn't be able to adapt because sometimes Robert Kirkman likes to park two characters into a room and have them talk for 7 pages.
Right.
You couldn't do that type of stuff in a cartoon, but like all the action and the battles in outer space, Alan the Alien, like, and the artist Ryan Otley. Ryan Otley's art is already perfectly translatable to that Adult Swim, to animated, and you could make it adult. You could show the blood, and plus, man, I want an Invincible action figure so bad.
I'm shocked there isn't one.
I'm shocked there isn't one too. Like this is the one thing. This is the one cartoon on my list where I'm like, how does this not exist?
Yeah, that I feel like that must be. I mean, like Kirkman is ending Invincible. I think he's focusing
Which I'm sad about, by the way.
Yeah, I think he's focusing a lot of attention on the show Walking Dead. When Walking Dead ends, and I think that the show will end way sooner than the book. I feel like the show. I think Walking Dead probably has 2 more seasons left.
They're in season 8 or 7.
I think it's 7.
Okay, I have a feeling they'll go to 10.
I think they'll want 10. I think they will. I think it'll lose it by before. I think it'll lose it by the end of 9.
I don't know, man. They had the highest ratings ever. So,
that's true.
Man, that's quite a drop in 2 years.
Yeah, I think people will be sick of zombies by then.
Okay,
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
I jumped ship on that show like 3 seasons back. So
the only people I know who watched Walking Dead don't anymore. Like that's all I hear. But that said, I think that once that show's over, Kirkman will have the bug of making shows, and I think he's gonna be like, "I own this. I could get fat checks from this." And I think Adult Swim would be cool. I think that Kirkman would be like, "Fuck it, we'll take it anywhere. Like we'll take it to Showtime."
He could. It would also, to be honest with you, it could be the cartoon to prove to Netflix that cartoons can work.
Yeah.
Because again, like if you notice, you'll notice in my trend of picking these characters that I cannot believe that somebody hasn't figured out there, and I'm throwing it out to everybody that's watching this podcast. This is an idea that exists in Hollywood that nobody has picked up and nobody has executed yet. The serialized dramatic cartoon. Yeah. It is out there somewhere. And when it hits like Stranger Things, it will hit hard.
No question.
And everybody will be talking about this cartoon.
I'm shocked that Powers was made into a live action series and not just let's do a cartoon and just because it was so
money. Money.
Yeah.
I didn't like anything about that show.
I don't think anybody did.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did.
I couldn't even watch it. I was like, I don't have the PlayStation Network. No. For me, my number 2.
Oh yes, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is is a look at the Marvel Universe from the streets in the form of a Heroes for Hire show.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
So it's the show. The cartoon show is basically like any standard
Which Heroes for Hire?
Luke Cage and Danny Rand.
Okay, I didn't know if you were going to go with the John Ostrander team.
I think that'd be really cool. I would love to see that. I think we're going to see that in the Netflix series.
I agree with you. I think we'll see more than just them. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Netflix will. I think Defenders will establish Heroes for Hire, and I think that if it is as successful as Punisher, it will become a Heroes for Hire. Like it will become a show. But watching Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the animated series, they had an episode in which Danny Rand and Luke Cage were Heroes for Hire or teamed up or solved a problem, and I was like, that's a show. Just watching these two be their characters and you could have and you're you save on animation in as much as like they're never going to be fighting Galactus. They're dealing with
let me ask you a question too. What kind of animation style do you see for that show? Because would you want to see the style that's like currently in the Cage series?
I think that's kind of the one I was thinking of. That's the one I was picturing in my head, was like a Tartakovsky kind of approach where it
would look great,
ultra stylized and minimal backgrounds. It's just really about the character and about like that exaggerated form. I think that'd be really cool, and also a little less expensive to animate.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would be. It would be a fun series.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I mean, like, is it something that I've been waiting for, like that I've been asking for? Not necessarily, but I think it'd be a solid show, and I think it'd be kind of fun to see. I think it'd be like, oh, this is a fun show where it's like, let's look at the Marvel universe from down here. Like, well, look at them all flying around.
You keep tapping this vein, man. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting noticing the difference between our lists. You keep tapping this vein that I think is going to be tapped. Like, I think we see a Luke Cage cartoon show in 5 years.
I hope so.
A Luke Cage Iron Fist, like, I mean, we've already seen Luke Cage and Iron Fist in Ultimate Spider-Man, so like I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You go for these, and I'm going for these picks that are like this needs to be the cartoon that can change cartoons.
Everything. Yes. I have my issue with that is like I have a pitch for cartoons, but it's not for like shows that are on either TV or Netflix. But we'll hopefully we can talk about that after this list is wrapped up. But like,
okay.
But yeah. So what's your number 2 for this list?
My number 2 is again another thing that I cannot believe has not been animated. It is. I think if you were to animate this, you would have to do it in a series of movies, probably direct to DVD.
Okay.
Or Netflix movies. But I want to see Bone.
Oh,
that's Bone by Jeff Smith. If you don't know, centers around the 3 Bone cousins wandering through the forest and finding this amazing fantasy world.
Yep.
And I think you could tell it, like I said, in 3 movies if you did like a trilogy of it.
Yeah.
I think it would be perfection to do it on Netflix. I think it sounds perfectly right up there. But Jeff Smith was an animator.
Yeah.
He kind of designed that world around animation. And I think the reason why we haven't seen the Bone movie, and by the way, if you haven't read Bone, get out there and read it. It's a big giant thing. And it's one of those series like Sandman, like Watchmen, like The Dark Knight Returns. You have to read it.
Yep.
It's like required reading. And because I haven't heard a single person that's ever said that they hated it.
Yeah.
So, but I think Jeff Smith holds on to those creations tight, and I think that's the reason why we haven't seen a lot of Bone, even merchandise. I was so blown away at New York Comic Con this year. I was walking by a booth, and I saw this little Bone statue, and I could not believe that there was actually a Bone statue.
Was it the one with Phone Bones looking at the map, and he's doing...
Yes!
Okay.
I should have bought it now, man.
You really should have, because the only time I ever saw that statue was in the pages of Wizard magazine.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they were really hyping. I remember when Wizard and Bone were coming out at the same time, they were really hyping up the book, and that's where I heard about it and picked it up.
Yeah, that's too. Like Bone, like Wizard magazine is a big reason why I know about Bone. But like the Bone cartoon, I think would look amazing. I would love to see the Bone cartoon in the animated style of the Peanuts movie.
Yeah.
Where it was kind of like a weird mix of 3D and 2D.
Yeah.
But I also think a 2D movie by Jeff Smith would kill.
I agree.
I also think that it would be something that, if you did it right, he could create the first independent animated film.
Yeah.
Like, just go direct to DVD, do it all himself. He could Kickstarter the damn thing, and I guarantee it would fund.
He could Kickstart it the same way that Mike Powell did with Goon.
The Goon, yeah. Flat out. Like, people would buy it, man. Like, and so Bone is easily my number 2 choice. I really want to see it animated.
That, man, Bone, that... I heard that Nickelodeon had optioned a Bone movie, and then wanted to make a whole bunch of really typical Hollywood changes.
Oh yeah.
And it was like it became so unrecognizable. Smith's like, "Are you kidding? Like, are these jokes? I'm not even no."
He's just like, what?
And I think he might be a little gun shy. You know, it's kind of like how Nintendo never made any movies after the Mario Brothers movie because they were like,
I could see that.
I'm like, it's been 30 years. You made one bad movie in the time when there were a lot of bad movies. You can make a Zelda movie now, guys.
And he's released it. Like there was a Telltale game of Bone.
I remember that game. I only played the shareware version, but it was that was
like 10 years ago. Yeah, but like fun. So he's not completely crazy out. And I did a little bit of searching here. And Warner Brothers owns it now.
Really?
Okay. Apparently, this is according to Wikipedia. You know, our high journalistic site of Wikipedia. It says on Wikipedia that Warner Brothers bought the rights, and according to a report from July 2011, there have been 2 scripts that have been written and rejected, with a third one still being written. And supposedly at that time, the first film was supposed to be released in 2013. Obviously, that didn't happen.
No, it did not. Yeah.
So
no, I think Bone would be a really sweet show where it's just like on, on Netflix or wherever. Where I remember, do you remember hearing the pitch for Preacher when Mark Steven Johnson of Ghost Rider fame wanted to make it?
I did.
And he was he goes to HBO, guys. If you've never heard this story, he goes to HBO and they're like, so what's your pitch for the show? And he goes, and he takes all 62 issues of the book and he goes, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3.
Yep.
Like, that's the show. And people were like, yes. And then apparently they greenlit it, and then they changed hands over at HBO and they threw everything that was greenlit away. And
do you know who was supposed to play? Do you know who was supposed to play Jesse Custer?
Was it the dude from Westworld and Cyclops?
Yeah. It was James Marsden,
James Marsden, man. I feel so bad for that dude because every time he almost gets a break. He was like, I'm Cyclops. Not anymore.
It's because he's almost good enough.
Yeah, he is almost good enough.
He's not he doesn't knock you off. He doesn't knock your socks off like Hugh Jackman.
No.
He gets the job done, but he gets the job done just good enough to where you're going to be like, yeah, he was fine. Yeah. But you're never going to be like, he was amazing.
No. And I've never pictured James Marsden as Jesse Custer. I'm like, I don't think you got the stones to play him, man. You got to you need somebody who's really hard boiled, and James Marsden is too pretty for Jesse Custer.
Think about the weird alternate universe where Kevin Smith made that picture back in '99.
Yeah. By the way, if you Google Arseface, View Askew Productions of Kevin Smith fame, commissioned a mask, and it's a picture perfect representation of Arseface.
It's gross looking, man.
It is. Because I've seen it. When I watched that pilot for Preacher, I'm like, I already live on Earth 13 where that show already exists.
Well, whatever we think about the Preacher TV show, I'm not a huge fan of it.
I really don't like it, and I got a lot of crap for it, by the way, because I was like, I'm with you. I thought I was a good judge of quality. I go on Twitter, I'm like, fuck this show, and the internet unanimously agreed, no, fuck you.
Look, I'll say this about Preacher: it's well shot. The cinematography is amazing. The acting is fantastic. I think everybody's well cast.
I agree, except for
Dominic.
Nothing
happens for 10 episodes.
Man,
nothing happens for 10 episodes.
Well, no, because nothing can happen.
Yeah.
When he ends the show with not killing everyone in town, I was like, "What? We're gonna stay here? Everybody dies in the first episode, in the first issue, man."
Well, see, I even understand staying in the town for the first season. We're going into Preacher spoilers. It's not animated at all. Sorry, folks.
Sorry, everybody.
But when they stay in the town, I don't have any problem with that because I'm fine with that because it's budget. You have to think about the budget with a TV show. You can't really do a road show on television. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
And everyone that's going to yell at me, The Walking Dead. Well, guess what? They film in the same 10-foot section of the woods.
Yes.
You can spot it.
Yeah, you always see the same tree. No, it's
very obvious to anyone that's worked in production. So they don't travel. That's the reason why they get away with it. They just are like, oh, let's shoot that tree now. Well, let's shoot that tree. But Preacher, you can't do that.
No.
So I don't mind them staying in the town for the first season. My only problem is that like the forward momentum of the plot and him discovering his powers and what he's going to do with them barely moved a centimeter in 10 episodes. And to me, that needs to move in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So whatever. Anyways, but the Kevin Smith, we got back to the original thing. Kevin Smith making that film, it was Ben Affleck playing Jesse Custer.
I think he could have made it work.
Really?
I think back then I would have made a joke about it, but now seeing his Batman, I'm like, dude's got the chops. I think he could do it.
I think 43-year-old Ben Affleck has the chops.
Yeah.
I don't think 29-year-old Ben Affleck
Shakespeare in Love Ben Affleck probably would not have been able to pull it off.
And that's the Ben Affleck that would have been in Preacher.
But you know what? I've always maintained. I had always maintained back in the day when Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck were buddies and actually worked on everything together. I was like, I hated Ben Affleck in a lot of things, but never a Kevin Smith movie. And I was like, I think that Affleck and Smith have such a good rapport that Smith could have elicited a Jesse Custer out of Ben Affleck.
I think a stronger director could have, sure.
Yeah.
I don't think Kevin Smith could have.
Kevin Smith, I don't think he could have directed a Preacher movie, but
I 100% agree with that.
But I think he could have gotten the performance out of Ben Affleck. Because I think, for whatever reason, I don't know, like, Affleck can do Smith dialogue like nobody else. Like, dude, like, he reads it like Shakespeare.
It's true.
It's amazing.
But I also, at the same time, I don't know if I would have ever wanted to seen the Preacher Kevin Smith movie, because that Jesse Custer would never have sounded like Jesse Custer to me. It would have sounded like Kevin Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah.
So hey, what are we on your number one or my number two?
We're on...
I just said Bone.
Yeah, number 2 for you is Bone. It's my number 1.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Number 1 choice.
This is a
what
show...
What is it, Sal?
I would like to see Exiles, the quantum leap in the Marvel multiverse.
Whoa, nice reboot of the X-Men cartoon.
Yeah, just... You could do anything at all, and every episode is a standalone episode that has, like, maybe a little bit of plot that runs, like, throughout the series, like Young Justice. But you have a core bunch of characters that nobody knows, or nobody outside of, like, the core. You know, like, who's Blink? You know what I mean? Like, you just have a whole bunch of random characters who everybody starts on, like, starts at square one with, and they
Can I be the studio for a second?
Sure.
All right. So you're the writer. I'm the studio. I'm going to give you a note. I want to see how you react to it.
Okay.
All right. We need Wolverine on the team.
Okay.
All right, cool.
It's X-23.
No, we need Logan.
We need Wolverine? Okay, can it be an alternate reality Wolverine? Does it have to be...
It can be Old Man Logan, but it's got to be Logan.
Yeah, we can do that. We can make Wolverine
Okay, sure.
work.
All right, good.
Yeah, no, like, here's the thing. I've heard no so much in my life. I'm so hungry for anything. I'm like, that sounds great. Wolverine, I'm in. Can we call it Wolverine in the Exiles?
You just know that's what the studio is going to say to you.
Oh yeah, they're going to be like,
yeah.
Well, Exiles, that sounds like X. Are there X-Men? Yeah. Wolverine? Yes.
Yeah, is Wolverine on it?
Yeah. And you know what it is? You just make Wolverine kind of like the dad of the team, or the, like,
sure.
Or not. You know, you pick a Wolverine who never joined the X-Men, and he's reluctantly with the team, and so he usually runs off on his own anyway. But you could make Wolverine work in the Exiles.
Well, you could make the pilot about them rescuing Old Man Logan out of his apocalypse, which I think would be really cool.
I agree with that. I mean, like, for the love of God, like, Exiles changed that. The reason why I think why I had no hesitation was because Exiles has changed the team roster so much throughout its run.
Yeah, because really many of them died.
Yeah, I mean, like, Spider-Man 2099 was a member of the Exiles.
I was just about to bring that up. I was like, he's on that team.
He's on that team too. I mean, like, they had Morph on the team.
Yeah, Morph. I love Morph.
He's amazing. He was, for me, it was like, okay, we just want slapstick, but nobody's going to know who that is, so we're going to make it more. But it still worked. But I think, yeah, no, you can make it work with Wolverine. That's fine.
Sure. That's good to know.
You're like, I'll be right back.
I'm going to run over to Disney XD over here. It's right down the street.
Exiles. So. Quantum Leap and Marvel. Boom.
That's your pitch, Quantum Leap and Marvel. All right.
That's it.
All right, man. All right, my number 1.
Yeah.
I thought long and hard about this. There's no pun there, so shut up.
Exactly.
So I was trying to think about what should be the number 1. And for me, I think it's a series that is really, really needed right now. And I think it is a character, this is a DC character, that has had one of the best runs in the entirety of DC history.
Okay.
DC has tried to reboot this character twice. They tried to bring back the original writer to reboot him. They still have never captured the flavor of the original run. So that's sad.
Yeah.
My number 1 is Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle. Because I think that it would be the heir apparent to the Static Shock animated series.
Yes. I immediately thought of Static when you mentioned Jaime. I was like, yeah, it would be like the same show, but with his roster and his cast.
but it's amazing because the Jaime Reyes, the original run, his family knows that he's a superhero.
Right.
And so it's about him and his family working together to fight the heroes and stuff like that, or fight the enemies and stuff like that. And his best friend's in on it, and then like his aunt is like the mob boss, and then he meets this posse group so we can get gang talk in, and it's like, you know, whatever. And I know a lot of people would be like, well, Young Justice season 2 covered a lot of that, and yes, that's very true, but I think it just needs to be specifically Blue Beetle. I think we need to I'll give you this. He can meet Young Justice, but he can meet Young Justice in season 3.
Right.
You know,
you're
like,
assuming that there's a third season for this guy, but
true. I want him by himself for a while, and he can meet Guy Gardner and he can meet other people, but I don't want him to join a team and yeah, somebody Blackwing 2040 brings up a very good point. DC and CW were going to do a Blue Beetle live action series.
I did not know that.
You can find the test footage on YouTube. It actually looks pretty cool.
You know, that makes sense. I mean, like, it's a teenage character that has a family and a bunch of different fun characters. Like, yeah, it fits their mold really well.
It would be, I think it would be a kid's cartoon that would connect more now than people ever realize. And if it connected and it got the 3 seasons. That, you know, cartoons get 3 seasons. I don't know if you know that because they get 90 episodes. Oh, I'm telling the crowd, not you, Sal. I assume you know that. I don't mean to be like demeaning you. Be like, Sal, you don't know that.
But I appreciate it
because you totally know that.
Yeah.
But in case anybody out there doesn't know, they do the 90 episodes for syndication, and then they move on. Because when they animate a cartoon series, they don't do it by seasons. They literally animate and write all 90 at the same time. So
you're gonna get your third season. It's
yeah, so let's get third seasons, and I think it would be a show that would be well remembered for the next 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would work. I think that the issue, I think my only concern is the marketing. You know, they need to really sell it well. You know, and I think he's a good looking outfit. So like I think that there's merit there.
You know, I will say I totally get it. I get your it's a very fair point. But at the same time, I would flip that counterpoint to be like, well, nobody knew what Steven Universe was.
That's true. Yeah.
You know?
Any of the new shows that we like that came out over the last 2 years, like there was no context.
Mm-hmm.
But it was word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly. And Blue Beetle at least has a comic book.
Yeah, that's true.
And has appeared on Young Justice.
You do have a point. There is he's established, you know, and there's different avenues that anyone can reach the same show from.
And there's plenty of different stuff that you could do with that series. Like I said, like the whole first season could be his origin story. Yeah. The second season could be him time traveling with Booster Gold.
Yeah.
The third series could be like him teaming up with the Teen Titans or Young Justice, whoever you want it to be. You could build it kind of like the Batman. You remember that series?
Yes, I do. I did like that. It was a good show. I didn't give it its due when it came out. I was like, Kevin Conroy's not in it? Bye. And then I caught it later, and I'm like, oh, this show was actually pretty good. Oh, damn.
The later seasons are actually pretty good. Yeah, and you could build it. You could build it if it got 5 seasons to where Jaime joins the Justice League.
Yeah.
There's so many different things you could do with that show, and you sell it like this. It's teenager Iron Man, except the Iron Man armor is alien armor that's trying to kill everybody.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Done.
That's cool. That's a cool pitch. I like that.
Are there I'm very curious, were there any shows or ideas or anything like that almost made it onto your list that last minute you were like, I want to take off?
Oh man. Let me look at my notes.
Wildcats was one of mine.
Wildcats. That had a show.
I want it back.
Wildcats had its shot, and nature targeted it for extinction.
But they have incredible powers.
God, that show, man. Oh, for that matter, we could talk about. I mean, yeah. I did not have anything. I mean, like I was just like, this would be cool. I think there was something else that I had, and I deleted it. I don't remember what it was offhand, but. Yeah, off the top of my head, I mean, like, Gen 13 would be a cool show.
Gen 13 would be a cool show. Somebody in the comments just said Generation X. I think that would have been a great show.
Generation X is like, I can't believe that didn't exist.
Yeah, they did a TV movie at Fox. It was terrible.
Oh yeah, they did. That was that was. We did a commentary video about it, like where we just riff tracks it but didn't prepare beforehand. Just was like, let's watch it, and like. I think I included video where we're just like,
Oh.
I think 5 minutes are left, and we're like, this has to end.
You want to hear a fun fact about that movie?
Yeah.
So in Wizard Magazine, back in the day, kids, Wizard Magazine,
Yep.
magazines are these things, Sal, if you don't know.
Tangible
They're made
pieces of paper, that are all in sequence.
Yeah, now we just use them for kindling.
Yeah.
So if you remember in Wizard Magazine, they had those contests.
Yeah.
One of them was for the Generation X movie before it came out.
I don't remember a contest about it.
Yeah, one of them was, and you had the little piece, like little card, and you cut out the little card, and you filled it out. And I think the question was, like, you say, like, which Generation X member was your favorite or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they had, like, a first, second, and third prize. I won second prize in that contest.
Shit!
Yeah,
That's
man.
Awesome! What was second prize?
I won 2 contests out of Wizard back in the day. I won an Avengers thing, and I won Generation X. But the Generation X I remember because they sent me, like, action figures of Implate, Skin, and, like, Jubilee.
Oh.
And then I got a bad pair of sunglasses. I got a poster from the movie, a little Gen X pin.
That's awesome.
And then, like, some trading cards. But I remember back in the day being, like, so blown away because I was like, I can't believe people actually win these contests.
Yeah, I did not believe it. No, I entered a few contests myself, and I never even got acknowledgement it arrived.
Yep. Yeah,
awesome.
I won that terrible television movies. So when that movie came out, I was so excited to see it.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
What's amazing about that is I was watching it when we watched it about a year ago. Out of nowhere, Jubilee drops an F-bomb, and you're like,
what?
Yeah, and then just every once in a while they'll drop like a really hard R curse word or term, and I'm like, what the hell was this show?
Where did you watch it? Because I saw it on Fox. And
I watched it on YouTube.
Okay, so maybe there's like an uncensored version or something
I think
that.
it's the European cut, not unlike when they did.
Okay.
Not unlike when they did the Highlander European show. Mm-hmm. If you're not familiar with Highlander, it was this excuse to watch Celtic people chop each other's heads off with swords. It was, but the Highlander TV series starring Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. It was on USA, but they had the European version that you could get on like VHS, and that one had sex scenes in it.
I did not know about that, and I even watched that terrible series.
I watched that show quite a bit.
I did too, and then there was that stupid spinoff, The Raven.
Oh, I don't remember The Raven, but
yeah, there was Highlander, The Raven, man.
I watched.
It's terrible.
I watched the movie where it was Endgame, which like ended the show and the other movie.
God, what terrible!
Wow. Although I did not watch the next one because there was like another one that was like a...
Yeah, I watched the next one.
No,
it's so bad and it makes no sense.
I couldn't even. Yeah,
it's so bad.
They missed the.
You know what?
Yeah,
the guy Adrian Paul, the guy who played Duncan MacLeod.
Yeah,
he now goes around to comic book conventions and does a sword fighting training class.
Really?
I'm not joking.
I mean, like he had to learn all that stuff, so I get.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
how
good
much
for
is
him.
It?
I think it's like there's different levels. I looked into it because at Stanley's LA Comic Con they had it.
No kidding.
And that's awesome. I think for like $300 you just get to like take the basic group class and he's kind of there and he watches you. But if you pay like $500 you get like one-on-one with him.
Ooh.
Like 3 hours one-on-one where he'll like try to make sexy love to you, but also teach you how to kill somebody with a sword.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would fight the Highlander, not for $500, but
yeah, not for $500. Yeah. For $300, I might take the class. Depending if it's an all-day class, totally I'm in. But if it's like 2 hours, forget it.
If we could shoot it, I'll drop the $300. Like,
they're not letting you shoot it. No way.
No, yeah, I would want it to be like a Conan segment where it's like a remote. Where...
You can do a hidden camera.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
Wearing these big awkward glasses.
I don't want to piss off Adrian Paul. He'd
punch you right in the face.
He would punch me right in the face, or kick me, or chop my head off.
Yep. Yeah.
We did talk about back at New York Comic Con. The Weekly Poll and I were chatting about how I am shocked that there's no Valiant series.
You know, their XO Manowar would translate really well.
Yeah.
I don't know what are the series. I don't know if a Quantum and Woody animated show would work. I think a live action Quantum and Woody show would work.
I think a Quantum and Woody would work on Adult Swim.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
like the Venture Brothers, but in the Valiant universe. Like, yeah, I'd watch that.
That would work. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I think Valiant's dipping their toes in the water.
Yeah, they're checking to see what what works best for them. Which
yeah, and I think they'll get there. I mean, they're doing that web show, which is something that I can't believe every comic book company hasn't done.
That's I mean, yeah, especially with them working directly with Bat in the Sun. Bat in the Sun is like practically doing Marvel and DC movies all the time.
Basically, yeah. The only downside I would say about the Valiant stuff is you watch that trailer and there are a couple of special effects shots that look a little.
They're not. But they're not done.
They're not finished.
Maybe
They're not finished. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that the render's not done.
Right, and that's
happens in big screen movies all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh no, so. I got an early screening of Serenity, and they had like the huge key pieces were just not finished.
Yeah. Funny thing about so every once in a while when I get the privilege, I get to watch episodes of the CW shows early.
Makes sense.
Here and there when I have to be able to like know stuff for an interview.
Yeah.
And in those, it's always the early cuts, and what they'll do is they'll either cut to a black screen where it's like Oliver climbs the building with an arrow.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to him on top of the roof, of course, because it's all CGI.
Right.
Or like, if the Flash is on the show, or it's the Flash, sometimes they'll cut to a screen and they just have this like animatic of Barry, and it's just like this, and it's a cutout picture of Grant Gustin, and he just slides places.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, they just move it across the camera.
Yeah.
Like, here you
so
go.
You'll see him like just slide up a building, like a real building shot that they've shot.
That's awesome. that gives a completely different watching experience. I like that.
It does. You're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it makes the show like completely not about the special effects. Like you actually literally have to watch the show for the story.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You're not just waiting for the next. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Which is the thing. But it's kind of interesting to see those certain things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Animated shows, man. Like,
yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll bring it back way into the topic.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many superhero movies out there. We're getting so many of them. We're getting so many superhero movies that I am a little surprised that there aren't more superhero cartoons.
I agree.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, and I'll this is my last point that I wanted to make about animated superhero stuff is, when Marvel was getting their druthers and getting back on track, I get why they kind of focused inward and just worked on comics and everything, and then after they figured out the Marvel Studio method, they're just like, okay, movies. But now that you're owned by the mouse and you have these resources,
this perfect distribution center,
there's almost no reason why they couldn't just and I'm surprised DC didn't wind up doing this too. They kind of did, and I thought they were heading in this direction, but it wound up only really translating to Batman. But this idea where, you take you go, okay, here are all the characters, we're gonna cast these people, and you're this person, you're this person, you're this person, and then just lock them in like into a 12 picture deal. But it's like a picture in as much as like they're animated direct to DVD features or direct to Netflix features. And it's just like, you're going to be Spider-Man for the next 12 movies, or you're going to be the Thing for the next 12 movies. And just go Kree-Skrull War, Avenger, like Thanos War, Contest of Champions, Secret Wars, like Civil War, like, but just go in order, just go and just create like, and adapt the entire Marvel history.
Well, it's interesting because, you can look at the DC side for that. Like you can see Warner Brothers doing those adaptations.
Yeah.
And I learned very early on, because I actually have a lot of friends that work in that department.
Okay.
And they're writers and whatever. And you learn very early on that unless it's Superman or Batman, it doesn't sell.
Right.
And that's this hard, cold fact. That's the reason why Batman is in Justice League Dark. You can look at the numbers of all these, anything like that. And I have a feeling that Marvel's the same way. I kind of feel that, I think with Marvel you get a little bit of stretch, because I think if something's appeared in the movie, they can do it.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree with you that you could do all these comic book series as long as you could like couch it into Avengers, like if it was Avengers Infinity Gauntlet, but I've noticed too though And DC's more forgiving about this because especially like they have the CW universe and they have the mainstream movies and then they're doing the animated movies.
Yeah.
So they don't care if they step on each other's toes.
Right.
Marvel does.
Yeah.
Like Marvel's very much like Marvel would barely let Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. touch the Inhumans.
Yeah.
And they're not making that movie anymore.
Yeah. Did you hear, by the way, that Feige quote where he was talking about, like, they were like, is it canceled? And he's like, oh, of course not, it's kind of canceled. But I could see it becoming a TV movie.
Yeah, like, and you're just like, what?
I'm like, wow! For me, I hate the Inhumans, so I'm like, yeah, fucking stick them on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., make a movie out of it. I don't care.
But I agree with you, man. There are plenty of like Spider-Man storylines out there. Like let's see the Clone Saga as a cartoon because we'll never see it in the live screen.
No, or like let's see. But you could do. That's the thing is that you make like the Marvel animated universe, and you release these things, and you could literally just call every event is an X event or an Avengers event. Just X-Men, Age of Apocalypse, or X-Men, the Dark Phoenix Saga. And they all take place within the single continuity, and maybe there'll be some crossover, but for the most part, it's just Avengers and X-Men, which we've proven sell. And
that's true.
And you could
X-Men,
release
X-Men. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, well, not anymore, but like,
yeah,
Chris Claremont was interesting at a New York Comic Con. He said something interesting. He was like, if Marvel had the rights to the movies, X-Men would be the #1 selling book.
Let me ask you this: do you agree with that statement?
No.
I don't either.
but I do think that Marvel would at least be putting more effort into their X franchises, or at least shining more lights on it. Because like the fact that they're releasing those like those X books right now, the Jean Grey, Iceman, X-Men Gold, X-Men Blue, Generation X books, blew my mind. I was like, I can't believe you're doing that.
Seems like a step right and back in the right direction.
I think that's fantastic. But that's I was like, that is the treatment that X-Men needed, and for the longest time they weren't getting that kind of attention. So I mean, like, true. But I think that if you release DVDs or just go on Netflix and X-Men, and make the X-Men title bigger than the underscore, that sells. And then you could release supplemental like underscore movies where it's like you got these Avengers events that take place, but then you got like Spider-Man, Kraven's Last Hunt, and that takes place in the same animated universe, but it's about Spider-Man.
Well, again, that would be something really cool. That is something that's something that DC is sort of doing right now because all their movies since War are in that same universe.
That's right. It's just too bad because I don't like that universe.
Yeah, well, there have been some hits and there's been some misses.
Yeah,
I thought the first one was really good. I liked War.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was all right.
There was one of the Batman movies that I really liked too. It was the one with Nightwing and Batwoman and
the last one. That was
the last one that just came out. Yeah. So like I don't know. Like right now they're I think Justice League Dark I'm really gonna dig.
Yeah.
Because Matt Ryan as whatever
That's gonna be awesome.
And Tevye Smolka right now is just like war sucks. That's cool. You can hate war.
I'm sorry,
I like it. I'll watch it plenty of times to make up for you. We can disagree. It's all cool.
Exactly. That's how it works, man.
But yeah, it's interesting that you really want that continuity in animated, and I kind of feel that Disney is like no. We have that continuity in the movies.
Right, but like you've proven it works, and you seem to like it, so why not keep it going? And I
don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like we will never crack the egg that is the corporate executives of movie studios.
What blows my mind and what constantly surprises me is it is, at the end of the day, always going to be a gamble.
Yeah.
You're always betting.
And they're big gambles, too. They're $1 million gambles.
And they're gambling using properties that have stewards that know what works and what doesn't. Like, you're not just taking a gamble on, I guess this Keanu Reeves movie might work, or like this really cool solid script will work if I attach this name to it, even though that's dead, that doesn't work anymore. But you're taking a property that has a built-in fan base, that has people that are creative and work on this thing and have proven this doesn't work, this does work. Like, and you don't listen to them, and you go, no, I'm going to take your property because I know it's successful, but I'm going to still apply my bizarro formula that I've even proven doesn't necessarily always work, and hope that it does. Yeah. And it's like, if you're going to gamble, you want to know how many, you want to at least know some of the cards that are in your opponent's hand. Like, I don't know. I am shocked as well, and for me, it's so shocking because it's such a preventable problem. You know,
It is.
or
It's weird, man.
seemingly is. You know, it feels.
It's weird. The weird thing about it on either side, of the fence, even with Valiant, there are so many corporate strings and fences that we don't know and that we can't see and we'll never see unless we become one of those executives.
Right. Or they fail so hard that like there's a little documentary movie about it. Like that amazing John Schnepp flick, the Superman Lives movie.
That's right. John Schnepp, love him. Death of Superman Lives. Go check it out.
Yeah, I love
good
that
buddy
movie. I was like, way to go, man. Like it was a solid flick. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, he's got a new series that's coming out next year through Comic-Con HQ that is going to do. It's called What Happened. And he already announced it, so it's no big deal. But yeah, he's going to look into other movies that were almost made.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, and I know if you know a little filmmaker who made the Terminator series.
Oh yes.
You know about a certain superhero that he wanted to do in the 90s.
Oh, we heard all about that. Yeah, I've read both scripts.
Yeah, I read the script too. Well, they're going to tackle that one. So
that. Whew. I'm glad that never happened.
You know, the weird thing about it is that because that movie would have came out in 92, 93, it would have been his movie instead of Terminator 2.
Yeah, which thank God, man. I would have.
Well, Terminator 2 is amazing.
Yeah.
It still holds up. Probably one of the best action movies of all time.
That's exactly right.
But you know what? I've read that script too, and you have to read that script, and I've had this conversation with a couple people. You have to read that script as how would yourself in 1992 have reacted to that script? You can't judge it by now.
No. Oh, no, you can't look at it in a post-Iron Man world.
Or post-Avengers world.
Oh, definitely. I mean...
You know, you can't do that.
Well, I mean,
okay,
like,
so...
Just looking at the Spider-Man movie that we got in 2002.
Which I love.
I loved it. And
I still love it. I don't care.
I like 1 more than 2.
Oh, get out of here!
Which is hard to imagine because 2 was I was like, this is the greatest superhero movie of all time. Despite the fact that Tobey Maguire can't possibly wear that mask for more than 30 consecutive seconds.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I still put Spider-Man 2 as one of the strongest movies made, but like
it is really strong.
Going back to James Cameron, I don't know, man. That movie coming out in 92,
that would have been.
I kind of think 92 me would have loved it.
I agree. I would have loved it. It would have been a doorbuster. It would have been like, yeah, no, that would have been amazing. It's just that, thank God,
what a different world we would be in.
It would be, yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's what's funny is like Batman '89 is a great bat flick in a context in the context that it came from, and yet it did not spawn great Batman sequels.
No, it didn't. Right?
It just
although I like Batman Forever too.
I did not.
It's pretty rough in some points, but like there are some points of it that I really like too. Like it's the only other sequel that I can watch, but also, I mean, I can't stand the scene in Batman '89 where Michael Keaton acts like he's in a completely different movie, picks up a poker, smashes the carcass, and like, do you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts! And I'm like, you're in Beetlejuice 2. You're not in Batman.
That was really weird. It was on HBO the other day, and Tiff and I were watching it, and she never really saw that movie. So she's watching it. She's like, where did this come from? And I'm like,
exactly. Every time you come to that scene, you're like, this is a completely different movie.
Yeah, that scene came from Michael Keaton being like, I want a scene where I'm crazy.
Yes. He's like, I'm tired of being stoic.
Yeah, because he's just sitting there. You know, there's of course there's that scene where he's sitting in the Batcave, he takes his glasses off, and you're like, you're wearing glasses?
Yeah, right? Why do you need glasses? You're not old.
Yeah, or when he's sleeping upside down after Vicky Vale and he have sex, and you're like,
yeah, what's that?
That's Tim Burton being like, he's a bat though.
Yeah, so there are moments. Look, there are moments in every comic book film.
Yes.
That knock you off. You're just like, what is this? But there are moments in every film that do that.
Well, there are highs and lows. Every comic book movie has something where it's like, all right, admittedly that was pretty awesome.
Yes, exactly. Like the opening scene of Batman '89, I think is pretty flippin' fantastic.
It is.
But that's again the thing about, like, I would say I love the scene in Batman Forever where he crashes into the party. And then he fights Two-Face all the way into the sewer, and then Robin rescues him.
I mean, as a kid, that was everything I wanted in a Batman movie.
Still today, I love that scene. Like, because again, we haven't gotten a Robin since, and I was like, Robin's fucking rescuing Batman. Oh my god.
Yeah, and he's wearing the full Robin suit, sans cape, but still like, comic accurate Robin suit. Like,
and he's adequate. That's something that's my biggest dream for there's a scene like that in every one of those movies that to this day, like there's a scene in every one of them that I love.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Even if I think they're stupid.
Yeah.
I there's a scene there's like one scene in there where I'm like, man, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I don't know about Batman and Robin though.
Oh, let me think.
I love it for camp.
Okay, I'll say this about Batman and Robin. I tried to rewatch it a couple years ago. Could only make it 20 minutes.
I've never seen it all the way through. I only saw
that's a commentary you should do.
Especially because I've never seen it end. So I'd be like, oh my god, what is gonna happen next? What is this?
What was the thing we were talking about one time we were on a podcast and people were like, there was the crazy thing that we needed to do, like the series that we needed to review.
Oh man.
It was like either Axis or Clone Saga, or it was some crazy Superman. Well, listeners, go back to the past and find out.
Let us know.
Let us know what it is. But because I'll watch Batman and Robin with you. Let's do it.
All right, I'm down. Yeah, we could do that. We've done commentary tracks on this show before. We could totally do Batman and Robin.
You know the one good thing for Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Robin's suit. Because I just watch him as Nightwing in that entire movie.
That is Nightwing. That is straight up Nightwing. Yeah.
He has Nightwing. He's wearing Nightwing suit.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
It looks all right. I mean, like,
except for the nipples. You get out of here. It looks great.
That's the problem. It's you can never
can't
get away from
see them in the dark. Yeah. Oh, somebody just Paul Coulson and Milmox and Tevye. It was Future's End.
No, it can't be Future's End.
That's the back issues we have to do is Future's End.
That's right. I have the whole series, so we could totally do it.
Yeah, we should do it. Well, because again, Future's End to me not as bad as Countdown.
Right.
Or World's End, Earth 2 World's End.
World's End is like, what the hell?
Just throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
don't even give that to the soldiers.
No, we were talking. Don't give it to them. They'll be like, what is this? Why did you do this?
They were like, is this the enemy attacking?
Right. Well, Jason, thank you so much for joining me today on the episode of Elseworlds Exchange, in which we discussed our top 5 animated pitches, more or less. Guys, definitely check the description of this video or this audio episode to check out more about the Comics for Soldiers project from Jawiin. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, please, any comic books you have lying around, please donate them. The soldiers will appreciate them. You can find the information on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jawiin, or on my Twitter @Jawiin, Jawiin. And also, quick shout out, because I'd be curious your opinion. I just put up a video yesterday, a couple days ago, about who I think Dr. Alchemy in season 3 of The Flash is.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty proud of this theory, and I think I'm right. And it's a guess that no one else has guessed.
Nice.
So I'd be curious. Go over there and watch it. Tell me what you think I'm right, because I think I nailed it. I think I figured it out.
Well, there you have it. You have your homework, everybody.
Well, there you go. So it's over there on my channel. And any comic books you want to give to the troops, they will greatly appreciate it. And please help out, guys.
Yeah.
Sal, this was fun, man. Thanks for having me. I love coming on this podcast with you.
All right. Bye, everybody.